all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning and thanks for listening in. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint and I'm Alex Matthew. Today's the 16th of December. There's positive news on the COVID-19 front. India reported just 22,065 new cases in the 24 hours to 8 a.m. yesterday, which is the lowest since the 3rd of July, taking the total tally to over 99 lakh. In news on the economy, the country's exports dipped 8.74% to $23.52 billion in November on account of a contraction in shipments of key sectors like petroleum, engineering, chemicals, and gems and jewelry, according to official data that was released yesterday. The trade deficit during the month narrowed to $9.87 billion as imports too declined by 13.3% to $33.39 billion. By the way, in case you missed it, S&P Global Ratings has raised India's GDP projection for the current financial year to a negative 7.7% from the earlier estimated minus 9% on rising demand and falling COVID-19 cases. For the next financial year, that is 21-22, S&P projected that growth will rebound to 10%. Its revision in growth forecast for the current financial year reflects a faster than expected recovery in the September quarter. The fifth day of the hearing of the Tata Mistri dispute in the Supreme Court saw the Mistri side argue against the role of trustees of the Tata Trusts in the affairs of Tata Sons and its conversion into a private limited company. The Mistri side cited two instances in support of their allegation of oppression and prejudice against the interests of minority shareholders. You'll find more details on that in the story on the website bloombergquint.com. In corporate news, Infosys is seeing increased appetite among its clients for investments towards technology to drive growth as COVID-19 accelerates digital adoption. Over the past few months, CEO Salil Parekh said the firm has seen increased speed at which its clients are adopting digital, and deal momentum in the ongoing quarter is steady and strong, besides the usual seasonality impact. Pricing pressure, according to him, has held up quite well, and many of the company's large deals are new digital transformation projects. In international news, China's leaders are likely to convene this week to lay out their economic priorities for 2021, with analysts expecting a renewed focus on slowing the pace of debt growth and insulating the economy from tensions with the US. Now that Beijing's satisfied with its handling of the pandemic and its economic expansion this year, the meeting will provide clues on how rapidly the leadership will tighten policy. Any signal of an early move could weigh on market sentiment further. Now, international markets will trade with one eye on the outcome of the two-day meeting of the US Federal Reserve that concludes later today. So far, the Fed has been in wait-and-watch mode, but that could well change if policymakers decide to bolster the economy's short-term prospects. Overnight, US equities ended strong with all three averages gaining 1%. And all three early risers in the Asia-Pacific region have started this morning with gains. With that, it's over to Hormuz Fatakia for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning Hormuz, how are we looking today?
Good morning to you, Alex, and to our listeners as well. More than a day of consolidation, Tuesday was a day of recoveries for India's benchmark indices. The Sensex recovered over 400 points, while the Nifty recovered over 120 points from the lowest point of the day to end with gains of 10 points each. The SGX Nifty is indicating a positive start to today's trade. Early ticks show that the index was trading with gains of 60 points above the mark of 13,600. Now we have a list of stocks that you should keep an eye out for today, and it is a list dominated by PSU banks. I'll first start with the ones that are carrying out fundraising. Both IDBI Bank and Punjab National Bank launched their QIP issues on Tuesday evening. IDBI Bank will be raising 2,000 crore rupees through its QIP issue. The issue will consist of an issue size of 1,000 crore and a green shoe option of another 1,000 crore rupees. IDBI Bank's floor price of 40.63 rupees a share is a 3.8% discount to Tuesday's closing price. On the other hand, Punjab National Bank has set its QIP floor price at 37.35 rupees per share, which is a 7.5% discount to Tuesday's closing. Punjab National Bank is also out of the F&O ban for today's session. PTI has reported that the lender aims to raise 7,000 crore rupees through its QIP. Now, speaking of PSU banks, Indian Bank has announced that it has declared the NPA account of IL&FS Financial Services as fraud and reported the same to the Reserve Bank of India. The bank has an exposure worth 408 crore rupees to the said account. The lender says that the account has been fully provided for as per the regulatory requirements. On to some other stocks now aside of PSU banks. Embassy Office Park REITs 2 has launched a QIP issue on Tuesday in order to raise funds. The floor price of 348.3 rupees per unit is a 2.1% discount to Tuesday's closing price. Mahindra & Mahindra became the second auto company after Maruti Suzuki to announce a price hike. The company said that it will increase prices of its passenger and commercial vehicle segments across models starting January the 1st, 2021. This, according to the company, was necessitated due to the increase in commodity prices and various other input costs. PVR will hold a board meeting on the 18th of December to consider a fundraise through various methods. The company in 2019 had raised close to 700 crore rupees through a QIP. Axis Bank has clarified that its total exposure to the SREI group does not exceed 800 crore rupees and that the allegations made by the Australia-based news agency on the bank's exposure to the group are grossly inaccurate and baseless. The lender clarified that the total exposure includes fund-based exposure worth 731 crore rupees and non-fund-based exposure worth 69 crore rupees. Speaking of Axis Bank, after the government selling over 2 crore shares of the lender through Suti, the Life Insurance Corporation of India has also sold over 2.5 lakh shares between 7th and the 11th of December. So keep that stock on your radar. Also keep an eye out for HG Infra, where the company has been declared as the L1 bidder for a project worth over 700 crore rupees by Ircon International. The project has a completion timeline of 30 months, including monsoon months. On to an IPO update now. Mrs. Bector's Foods IPO was fully subscribed on the first day of bidding. Overall subscription stood at 3.7 times, led mainly by the retail portion, which was subscribed over 6 times. The non-institutional portion was also fully subscribed, while the institutional subscription was negligible. And speaking of IPOs, how can I not mention Burger King? There was no stopping the rally in this stock even after a bumper listing on Monday. The stock gained another 20% on Tuesday and has now nearly tripled from its issue price in just 2 days. Yes, just 2 days. Well, we still have another fortnight to go for the quarter to end, but Infosys has already made the announcement that it will be declaring their December quarter results on the 13th of January 2021. I would want to conclude today with one stock, and that is Bajaj Finance. The stock made a 52-week low on the 27th of May this year, and that was 1,783 rupees a share. On Tuesday, the stock hit the mark of 5,000 for the first time ever and also closed with gains of over 4.5% to end at 5,122 rupees a share. That is a recovery of 187% over a period of 6.5 months. Now, out of the 32 analysts that track the stock as per Bloomberg consensus data, only ICICI Direct and Morgan Stanley have a price target that is higher than the stock's current market price. To know more about the stocks that will be in focus for today's session, do log in to BloombergQuint.com and read up on the All You Need to Know copy. With that, I wish you a safe day ahead, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Hormuz, and as always, thank you all for listening in. That's all we have for you in this podcast, but do check out the website BloombergQuint.com over the course of today for all the news and updates. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.